So we're getting an expansion in a couple of weeks. A lot of people are asking what I'm thinking about it, and they don't want to watch the 1.5 hour video, so I guess this is more of a recap of my thoughts, I guess. I've had a couple of days to think about it now and talk to people, so I have a bit more informed opinion on the whole thing. So obviously we're getting new maps, we're getting new items, support gems, couple active gems. Always good to get more more skills. Uniques, couple interesting ones here and couple not so interesting. Supporter packs, obviously. I don't want to go too much on the balance on the items, but I like the idea that like my bosses are harder and all that. They're giving us more options to get like single target setups and so on. Remains to be seen how many options we actually have in here. Like, for example, are these, you have like 3 support gems in here. Are they randomly picked from a pool, or do they have to like match each other? So example, could you have like instead of having melee plus, could you have like crit chance here or crit damage or yada yada yada. New maps. It's always nice to have new maps. 32 new maps that's quite a bit. Then we are getting new endgame boss or bosses with the guardians, but more about that in a second. Let's just look this first.
As you explore the new Atlas of Worlds, you'll encounter maps that are marked with this border. While playing in these areas, you'll discover that a being called the Elder is infecting the Atlas and draining power from the Shaper's creations. The Shaper will attempt to contain the Elder's spread by taking control of maps himself to block the Elder. Maps controlled by the Shaper show the damage that the war for the Atlas is causing on the fabric of reality. Each map you play advances the war and lets you push back the Shaper or the Elder to influence who is winning. Should the Elder become powerful enough, he will be able to manifest in maps and drain the life from the map boss to create an Elder Guardian. The level of the consumed boss dictates the difficulty and reward of the Elder Guardian. Defeat these 4 Guardians to face the Elder himself.
Yeah, that was very simple. So we have this controlled by Elder. There's people have been talking about different, like you know you have like these connections between maps, that the Elder connections could be different and it would have like a second atlas inside the atlas, but from every con that I've seen so far, these are just like straight lines between the maps. So like you see there's like a slight line here, it goes up here. These are not connected in the normal atlas, and neither are on the under Elder's control. So that just, you just have this so you know what they are connected to. Then we are shown how it
Creations.
Spreads.
The Shaper will attempt to contain the Elder's spread by taking control of maps himself to block the Elder.
Okay, so Shaper is trying to, slow him down. Elder is trying to get into the middle or get the control of the whole map. And from the looks of this, it looks like Shaper can only control maps that are right next to the Elder, but there's also footage where that's not the case. So I'm not entirely sure how that's gonna be. And also not quite sure if you can have Shaper control in like inside, like let's say like these two map, like this map here, and this map would be controlled by Elder. If this map in the middle here could be controlled by Shaper instead. I'm not exactly sure how that will go, but there could be some interesting things if that's the case. Also, I don't think any unique map can be controlled by either of them. I haven't seen any footage of that.
Maps controlled by the Shaper show the damage that the War for the Atlas is causing on the
Then you have
fabric
these,
of reality.
Oof.
Each map you play advances the war.
So yeah, every time you complete a map, aka kill a map boss, there's like an atlas stick or whatever, and then the control of both of them can change, and you see that it's not always this, like one map, right?
This is causing on the fabric of reality. Each map you play advances the war.
Yeah, it went from 2 to 4. So I'm not exactly sure if you can if the possession or control can keep growing, even though, let's say, we're just running dungeon and only dungeon, just completing dungeon all the time. If it can grow while you're just running that one map that is not connected to any of this at all, I would assume you can, but it remains to be seen, I guess.
And lets you push back the Shaper or the Elder to influence who is winning. Should the
So here's the that I mentioned earlier. So could we get this under the control of Elder while having Shaper in the middle? Because if that's the case, then you can potentially just have everything under Elder's control and just keep farming one map, and it just like it keeps switching between them and no possession at all. So I don't think you are going to be skipping map bosses, assuming the map bosses are fast enough to kill for your build. And I don't think the items, even how rare, like depending on how rare they are, of course, but I don't think they're going to end up limiting you from killing the bosses at all. Especially in trade leagues where you can just buy them, right? You just map efficiently, do the maps that you can farm good and well, fast, and you just buy the items. Like I don't think this new system is gonna encourage people to not complete map bosses, unless for solo self-out. But for trading leagues, I don't think it's not gonna make a difference.
The Elder become powerful enough, he will be able to manifest in maps and drain the life from the map boss to create an Elder Guardian.
So yeah,
become powerful enough.
So these are controlled by the Elder. So when you go there, when you enter the boss room or see the boss, Elder is gonna snap, slurp him in, and give you a new boss. And then when you kill that Guardian, you get probably some kind of fragment like you get from the actual Guardians. And once you get 4 of them, you can fight Elder. It's already confirmed in another video that we're gonna watch in a second that there's gonna be multiple levels of Elder. So it's probably like Rigwald, that you have like high level uniques, low level uniques that are like catered by the level of the fight. I hope, at least. I wonder how the level is determined though. I hope it's just like normal recipes right now, so it's the lowest level, and not like Rigwald where you just do this stupid math behind it to see the actual level. I think that would be bad.
He will be able to manifest in maps and drain the life from the map boss to create an Elder Guardian.
I've heard a lot of people talk that you can just fight Guardians, but this video,
who's been inside the Atlas of Worlds for a long time in the map system, and has recently gained enough power to be able to take control of various maps and wrest them from the Shaper's control. And so the War for the Atlas refers to the fact that the Elder and the Shaper are vying for control over the Atlas, and you as a player get to influence this. So this is the Atlas of Worlds that I showed you before. Jonathan's using a cheat here to tick the Atlas. Normally this occurs every time you complete a map.
So here's where I mentioned that Shaper can have control of maps, even though they're not strictly connected to Elder. Like you see, this map here is controlled by Shaper, and then these Guardian maps. I don't know if the Guardian maps are controlled by Shaper by default. That would kind of make sense. So that if you wanted to get to the highest Elder, you first have to fight the normal guardians, and then you have a chance at finding the Elder's guardians at the highest level. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but it kind of makes sense.
So when you complete a map, the Elder and the Shaper essentially get to take over more maps. Now, the Elder is trying to expand his control, while the Shaper's fighting back from all directions, pushing the Elder in. And as a player, you get the ability to influence this. Whenever you play a map, if you complete it successfully, it takes control away from the Elder or the Shaper.
And here you can see that while these are connected together, Shaper can have control of maps that are not linked to the Elder's control at all. So you can probably have, like, if you wanted, you could have like half an Atlas controlled by Shaper and half the Atlas controlled by Elder. I'm assuming that that's going to be the case.
Giving the other one an opportunity to go in there. And so because of this, you can change the destiny of the War for the Atlas yourself. There are strong strategic reasons for wanting the Elder to win.
And you see there's the unique maps not under control of neither of them.
The Shaper to win, or both to win, or neither to win. And so you can work out what your priorities are in an attempt to get the best items for yourself. Let's have a look at a map which the Shaper controls. The Iceberg map is marked with a starry field on the Atlas, and it shows that the Shaper currently has this area after wresting it back from the Elder. So as a casualty of the war, you'll notice that there are these patches of flickering void on the ground where the fabric of reality is, which make the game. This gives them an opportunity.
I want him to mention.
So let's have a look at some.
I want him to mention the lower level Elder.
These weapons, for example, you really likes in that case, neither of which are things you.
He's just talking about the items
can normally find on control by the correct ratios, so that you can be difficult to find and only come from maps that are currently controlled by the Shaper or the Elder. If you have a look at the Atlas, you'll notice that if you were to farm the Shaper areas in an attempt to get those items, that might exterminate it from that part of the map, helping the Elder too much. So you kind of have to set up, I guess, sustainable farming to make sure that you farm them in the correct ratios so that you can get the items.
I am pretty sure that, let's say, I want to keep this like this, so I get the occasional Elder guardians, right? If I wanted to farm for the shape, like the Elder items themselves, I'm pretty confident that I could just keep running this map, and like, even though completing the map, Elder will lose the possession of it or control, I don't think Shaper is gonna immediately jump in and take it. I'm pretty sure it will just like go like untouched. Then let's say we do the map again, and I would say it's very high chance that the Elder takes it again. I don't know if they're weighted, but I have a feeling that you won't be able to have, like, let's say this would be Shaper, Elder, Shaper, Elder, Shaper, Elder, Shaper, Elder. I don't think that's gonna be the case. So I'm pretty sure you can easily maintain the control of Elder here, and if you wanted to. Well, it remains to be seen, I guess.
Items that you want, making strategic choices about who you want to actually win the Atlas. So after a certain point, the Elder gets quite a lot of control. In this case, he's spread out over the entire bottom right corner, and because of that, some areas have been marked in purple. This means that the Elder himself can manifest in these maps. Now in this case, they're relatively low tier ones. Let's have a look at what happens when we run the Cage map, which has a purple mark on it.
So here he mentioned the low tier.
So this Cage map is based on one of the tile sets from Act 5. Some of the maps that we've added in this expansion are taking areas from outside of the existing content we used to have in the game and adding it to the end game, and some of it is completely new. This is a particular fan favorite tile set from early on in the Act 5 experience. So Jonathan's going to use a cheat to teleport to get to the end boss. So normally when you encounter this boss, you get quite a horrible fight, but in this case you get a chance to see the Elder. So the Elder surprises the boss, killing it in one hit, and sucking its life force and power out. It then uses this power to construct a boss of its own, a Guardian, and it puts it inside this portal for you to fight. Now the properties of the boss that's been killed dictates a lot about this fight. So for example, if you encounter a Guardian in a relatively low tier map, which comes from a relatively low tier boss, then it's not a particularly difficult encounter. On the other hand, if you have a Guardian that...
I wonder if what Guardian you're gonna see, like face, is based on the boss of the map or the location of the map in the Atlas. So you have like the corners for all of the 4, or if it's just based on the boss, so that you can have all of the 4 Guardians in one corner of the Atlas, based because of different boss types. I don't know.
This in a really high tier map, potentially made from one of the Shaper's own Guardians himself, then it's a substantially more difficult and rewarding encounter. Now, you have to kill all 4 Guardians before you get a chance to fight the Elder himself, and this means that the player is able to choose whether he fights the Elder early on or late on in maps.
See, there he mentions the early on or later on, so that makes me believe it's gonna be like Fate, like different tiers. It would make sense that you had white, yellow, and red, as in like 70, 75, and 80, for example. But at the same time, it would feel odd that you wouldn't have an Elder fight that is based on only of the highest level, you know, like the 16 Guardian maps. So maybe there's 4, or maybe there's only 3, and it's like 70, 75, and then like 85 or 84 or whatever the level is gonna be. So I don't think 80 is gonna be the highest one. I feel it's gonna be the same level or higher as Shaper, but again, remains to be seen.
It's important to understand, in the Atlas of Worlds expansion, the Shaper, who had a
I don't think he had like showed the minimap here, so we don't see the level of the map. Yeah.
It's a substantially more difficult and rewarding encounter. Now, you have to kill all 4 Guardians before you get a chance to fight the Elder himself, and this means that the player is able to choose whether he fights the Elder early on or late on in maps. It's important to understand, in the Atlas of Worlds expansion, the Shaper, who had a similar kind of setup, could only be fought at the absolute highest difficulty, and that meant that a lot of players only got to see the Shaper after potentially hundreds of hours of gameplay, with many people not experiencing that fight themselves or only seeing it on Twitch. In this expansion, you get a chance to fight the Elder at a variety of different levels, which means many more people will see the content. Having said that, the best rewards are reserved for fighting him in the absolute highest tiers.
So he mentions that, so that makes me believe it's gonna be like Rickwald, where you, in the example of Rickwald, you had only the ring for the lowest fight, then you had a quiver, and the highest fight was a weapon, like the both weapons, and then the quiver and the ring. So Rickwald 2.0, please.
Now, this Lightning Guardian that Jonathan's fighting here is in an arena that also does a bunch of lightning damage, and at various points during the fight, the arena will change as you get teleported by this Guardian into the next one. And it's very important to pay attention to what's going on, because the lightning does a lot of damage, and with the arena changing, of course, it means that there'll be surprises with regard to the timing and location of that lightning damage. So there are four separate Guardians, each with their own theme, and that means in order to be able to get through all 4 of them to the Elder, it's important that you're able to deal with not only intense lightning damage, but all the other different varieties of encounter that the Guardians pose. So Jonathan's been teleported to the next arena.
Okay, so I think there's gonna be like probably some Fire Guardian, there's the Lightning dude, then you have, I don't know, Fish / Dot, like Poison Bleed, I don't know, we'll see. And like, so yeah, so we have that. I want to talk more about what they're trying to do with the Atlas now. Right, so here's the picture of the new Atlas with all tiers, very likely tier at least. I don't know if the tiers of the unique maps will be like this. Oh yeah, Veranda's Manor is actually connected to Chateau now, so will that mean that we can actually find it now without Caligro? It's gonna be interesting. But it seems to me, when looking at the Atlas, that they're trying to make people actually do red maps. Right, they're clustered, potentially meaning that they want us to sextant red maps. But I don't think we're gonna see. Maybe until like week 2 or 3, we'll see people wanting to do all the content. They haven't done it before, but eventually, especially in trading leagues, we will start seeing people doing this, potentially these, even though there isn't many sextants here. There's some potential here, depending how good Wharf is. Then there's Jungle Valley. This is really nice. That's like That's probably not going to give you a sextant, but that's like 3 sextants. I mean, 4 if we include the Jungle Valley itself. But I am assuming that we're gonna have the exact same situation that we have now, and that is you don't have most of the red maps because of the adjacent maps connections. So until we have a way to remove the adjacent connections between maps, I don't think we're gonna have fully made atlases. Because let's say you want higher level Gabriel Elder items, right? They're rare, they're gonna be expensive. For the casual player, it's more likely for you to farm, let's say, Vault, like 6 sextants right there you can put on. You farm that. Get currency. Buy the items. How many people actually craft their items right now? Very few. So I don't think we're gonna be seeing people completing the full atlas. You can very likely buy the fragments or keys or whatever for the elders too, for the high level elder fights. So probably gonna be like people are gonna do them a bit and like, I hate this X or this IMAP. Fuck Necropolis, I don't want to do it. And because Necropolis is connected to Lair and Arsenal, I can't do these either. And yada. So I'm not really holding my breath of having fully made atlases for most people to try to make currency, for example, or try to be efficient. And now we're gonna start hearing people say about, oh, they are normalizing XP per hour for all maps. But first of all, I don't think they're gonna be able to manage to do that. There's too many builds in the game for them to do that. So let's say they are normalizing the XP per hour for, I don't know, while power siphon. Now that is like a god tier geared. What about the people that are not doing that? For them, some maps are way better than others. Are they using sextants on their testing? Because if they are not, well, then the maps that can be sextanted are going to be far superior. And if XP per hour is the same on every single map, which I don't think is going to be the case, then the maps that are bigger will be better than the smaller maps when it comes to currency maintain. Because let's say you have a map with, let's say you have a map that takes 5 minutes to do, and let's say you have a map that makes 2 minutes to do. You probably don't see this very well, but so the time it takes you to do this one map, you have to roll two maps of the other map, and if the XP per hour is the same, and let's assume that the currency you gain from the maps is pretty much equal, there's really isn't a reason to do the smaller map when you have the bigger map. When it comes to maintaining your currency while farming maps, so if you're spending half the amount of currency to roll the same map for the same XP and close to the same currency gains, you're just gonna do the bigger map. Especially if you have like sextant. It's the balancing needed to perfect that. I think it's just out of their reach. It requires way too much, and I don't think my personal opinion, I don't think they should do that. I think other some maps should be better than others. We have like I mean, I like to talk about Scriptorium, but it's not a great map when it comes to XP per hour, or yeah, it's very annoying to run sometimes. You get into annoying didn't. However, you can farm Chevron Strappings from there because of the boss drops your divination card, and you can't do that in many other maps. I mean, there's only one map with Scriptorium with the same boss as Scriptorium, and that's in Core. Not actually sure if this is Core, but you get the point. So I don't I don't really know why they are pursuing to do that, and how they're gonna do it. I'm very skeptical about this, them being able to do that, and I'm fully expecting people to be shaping the good maps and then just running them, because there's no adjacent bad maps connected to them. That's the main issue people have with doing actual red maps. And speaking of shaping, we have the exact same amount of shape orbs in 3.1 than we have right now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then 15. We have 1 for yellow, like white and yellows. I mean, as in, no, that's not how I say it. There's 1 for T1 to T6, and then a bit, no, T7, and then for T8 you have a couple, and T9 and T10 you have 3, I think. I don't remember the exact numbers, but basically we gained more maps, but we didn't have get more like we get more options on what maps we can do, but we didn't get expanded, that we don't we're still limited to having 15 shape maps. And most of them are T8, T9, and 10. I would like to see more orbs for lower maps, personally. But I don't really know why we don't get that. So because of this limitation, we don't really have you can customize your atlas, quote unquote, as how you want, and you can customize your atlas to find only certain maps, but that's not really true in every single case. Let's take an example. Oh yeah, by the way, fuck these 3 maps. Not because they're bad maps, but because they're connected to 1T2. So yeah, have fun, solo fun players. But let's say I wanted to farm T2 cavern for whatever reason. I know I could shape this into a T7, and then I wouldn't find these as a +1. But let's say I want to run T2 cavern for whatever reason. You can remove one of these maps from the +1 pool by shaping it into a T8, but you would still find the other 2. So that's actually a quote unquote a problem right now for the people who are doing Beach as a T2, because it has 2 T3 connected to it. So you can't brute force only finding that so that the T3 map downgrades into a T2 because of that. And I personally don't like that. And then we have the red maps that whenever you're running a lair, for example, you will always find Necropolis and Racecourse as a +1. As a Spider Forest, you will always find Castle Ruins. So you can only, if you want to customize your map, map drops, you can only do so by shaping white maps into yellows or yellows to reds. So while there's options, you can't really do that for all maps. I mean, you could argue that it would be quote unquote broken if you could have like Spider Forest never drop Castle Ruins. But at the same time, I can argue that it's pretty stupid that I can make a wall at T14, have it with 6 sextants, and the only T14 or 15 that ever drops while running it is a vault. So it's a bit weird to me. And now that we have Elder, what if we had a new orb? There's I have 3 different orb ideas that would actually let us customize the atlas, but I don't think we are gonna get them. One would be completely lock a map from dropping adjacent, right? So for example, I want to run T9 Scriptorium. Right now, my options of only running T9 Scriptorium would be not unlock any T10. So whenever a Scriptorium drops. Like whenever I'm running Scriptorium and it's about to drop a +1, it would downgrade that T9 Scriptorium. The only way I can do it right now would be shaping this into a T15, and then shaping. Okay, I don't need to shape this, but then not do any of the T9s or T10s. Oh yeah, there's actually a lot of T10s right now. There's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's so many. There's like the amount of T10s we have right now in this new Atlas is huge. It's like they're trying to make people not skip that T10 tier. Right, we are right now. Same with T9s. We have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have most of the maps that are really close by to the like red maps now. So to me, it looks like pretty obvious that they're trying to make us not skip that T9, like that T10 pool. And then obviously we have quite a bit of red maps as well now, which is nice. I really like that we have a lot of red maps, and that the fact that they are clustered like this, like they are right now. But I still don't think we're gonna be shaping them, sextanting them, and that's the reason is because red sextants are extremely expensive, so they would have to make them, well, not so expensive to be able to do that. So I'm just looking at the vault as it has 6 sextants. You can block a lot of sextants on them. They could potentially nerf sextants to only affect maps that are the same tier. For example, reds only affect reds, but that would make so that like the 11s are worse than 13s and 14s, because 14s and 13s are in the middle of the circle, so they can be affected by more, like all of these, the higher maps. So I don't think that they're gonna be doing that either. Then they could make it so that you're limited to only have like 1 or 2 or 3 sextants at a time, which I personally wouldn't mind, but I see the reason why they're not gonna do that. You know, people want to have crazy maps, so that. Then the new items, right? So let's say I want to farm for the high level Shaper or Elder items. I have all like all of these under the possession of Elder. For whatever reason, I have these maps, just for the example sake. I want to farm for those items here, right? So that would, if I wanted to farm the items the most, I would have to skip the map bosses. From Solzofan point of view, yeah, that's probably what I would do. But from someone who's trading, I don't think that's gonna be the case at all. I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make you choose between farming the items or trying to maintain a map pool. But I don't believe they're gonna have a hard time maintaining a map pool, because we just get a lot of more bonus. And I don't think they're gonna be changing the system. So we're gonna have like 1.5. And like instead of having 100% chance, like 100% chance for +1 and then like 20% for +2, now we're gonna have like, if you complete the whole Atlas, you're gonna have like 50% chance for a +2, which is pretty huge. But I don't think they're gonna. I don't think that's gonna be the case. Maybe past like week 2 or 3, when people start figuring out what are the actual best maps to farm still, because I don't believe that we are gonna have equal XP per hour equal like I don't think the maps are gonna be equal. I don't think they should be. So I don't know why they're kind of trying to give us the like make it sound like they're trying to do that. And I don't think they should. Anything else I was supposed to say? Yeah, I don't think there is. So I really like that we are getting bigger atlas, but at the same time, I'm quite disappointed that we are not getting more items to modify the atlas. I think that's like that too long didn't watch. I want more options. I want to be able to make a T12 map, not T12 map, like D-shape it, or make it into a oh yeah, the orbs. So one orb is lock the map from dropping adjacents unless the adjacent maps are completed, of course. So running OSIS, I would never see this map or this map unless they are completed. Then another orb would be the D-shaping orb that I just mentioned. So you could make this into a T8 map. Would be kind of interesting because then you could use this T8 map to sextant T16 maps, for example, or an orb that would cut lines between. So instead of locking completely, it could cut lines. So you would still find Overgrown Shrine, but you wouldn't find this map. I don't think that's going to be the case either. I don't think they want to make it too complicated. Yeah. Any of those three orbs would be amazing to see. They would allow us to customize the atlas even more, or just provide us with more shaper orbs for the lower maps. Well, I think I have a couple of things to say about this whole self-found progression of the atlas, but I think that's a different video. Mainly looking at this shit here. Yeah, why? But I think that's most of the shit I wanted to talk about. So I really like the Elder fights, like how it's feeling like a Rigwald but made better, hopefully. More maps, obviously a nice thing, but I think they're missing some potential from the atlas. They could make it even better, I think. But yeah, bye bye.